Greetings, greetings, greetings. It's Low Soul, in case you didn't know so, aka the spiritual healer. Coming with a little bit of food for thought. Today, today's been a good day. Today's been a real good day because this morning started off a little turbulent, and I understand there's two sets of ways to handle it. You can handle it with the flesh or the spirit. The flesh side makes you want to engage, interact, be upset, feel, and act from a place of emotion. And that's what most of us do. We all react and say how we feel and put things in the category. Pride gets in the way if somebody gets loud with you or they say something or get the last word. There's so many different nuances that make humans triggered, if you will. I was actually fortunate enough today to be able to step into what I would call the spirit. The spirit was a higher place, understanding that I'm able to look objectively at not only my actions and what I'm thinking and doing, but the interactions I'm having with other people. Step out of myself, if you will, outside of my own perspective. And I was fortunate today by going through certain things to realize that I know my worth. I know what I bring to the table. I know what I can contribute. And you should never let someone sell you short on what you bring to the table, as well as never let somebody else's energy dictate how you feel. A lot of people will engulf you with negative energy. A lot of people don't even understand they're negative. And it's similar to people who have, let's say, eating disorders or addictions. That's what negativity is. Like when you're trying to grow in a spirit, and you're trying to get understanding of a higher sense of self, there's going to be those lower vibrations that constantly try to bring you back. Especially if you were like me. I used to be a person who had to get the last word. I used to have to be a person who was like, no, you're not going to play me. I had a lot of earthly ego things that I feel like I had to put people in place. I had to check them. I had to do these things to make them understand something, not realizing that if the person is an emotional vampire, if the person is a leech, so to speak, they just want you to throw out. It doesn't have to have a rationale or make sense. It doesn't even have to be a real thing. They are able to attach to the energy that you're exuding doing those things. Similar to when you have a conversation with somebody and they want to have a disagreement or argument, and you guys seem to have a conversation but not talking about the same topic, but one person is adamant, or maybe both people are really adamant, and in that situation it's nothing but energy being exchanged. And 9 times out of 10, if you don't know if you're the emotional vampire or not, whoever's the person that's being drained is usually not the vampire. The person who can make themselves mad and carry on and act like what they're arguing about really is the world all be all is usually the vampire. The sad part about it is most people don't realize that that's them going through withdrawal. When they've been around enough positive stuff or things counter to negativity, they don't know how to act. Their body goes through withdrawal. So they invent things. They make up situations. They create their own issues. And it's kind of sad, but it is what it is. The messed up part about it is sometimes it's the people that's closest to you. Your family. Especially family. Some situations could be your parents, siblings. It's really an endless way that it hides, because sometimes the negativity is underneath some other things, some other childhood traumas, abuse even. These things hold anger and animosity in tight. And when they do that, that particular entity has already started feeding on that person. A lot of those people are going through stuff, and unfortunately, because they're not aware of how the dynamic on this planet works, they feed into it. A lot of people who go through certain things like addiction, especially with drugs and stuff, don't realize they have other underlying demons that are feeding on them. and that's a way of trying to escape it. When people drink a lot, that's their way of trying to escape it. And the sad part about it is sometimes it comes up when people are trying to do better. I'm one of those people, like, I try to fast from meat, liquor, any of my vices I try to take a break from. And I realize that even if I'm doing good, the universe will bring me a test to see if I'm going to turn back to one of those vices. It's going to bring me a test to see if I'm going to go back to old ways. And so the more you try to work on yourself, the more you try to improve and raise your spiritual consciousness, there's going to be tests, trials, and tribulations. And I guess this message is just telling you to stay on the course. Stay consistent with what you are trying to do if you're doing it for the better. And truth be told, the better is all a perception. And that's why it's a slippery slope, because some people actually believe that the reason they're the way they are is because, they justify it. And it's cool. But when you understand how this planet works, you don't do nothing but hurt yourself. You defeat yourself. Some people are meant to be isolated and alone. Actually, most of us are. Even when you get higher in your consciousness, when you start realizing a lot of the stuff is not real, the emotions are fake, the people are not genuine, you isolate yourself, because this planet is really a solo journey. And so I said all that to say, like, you know what? At the end of the day, you have to choose you. You have to. You have to. I was watching a video today, JT Fox, and he made a great point. He said, ultimately, fire the negative people in your life. Get rid of those negative entities. And the catch-22 to it all is, anything counter to you is negative. If I go to hell and I'm down there preaching to the demons and the devils, I'm the negative one. I am the issue in that environment. Which means you got to pay attention to your environment. Is it conducive? Are you growing in it? And is there anyone there can push you? Because steel sharpens steel. If there's no one there to push you, and that's what you got. I'm thankful. I'm thankful because I have a great support cast. I do. I have a great support cast, and I love them, and I know they love me because of the energy they pour into me, and I try to reciprocate the energy I give back in any way, form, or fashion. So again, this is Loso, in case you didn't know. So, in my own way, saying thank you to all those who looked out, still look out, show love, take care of me. I try to reciprocate it, and we're gonna keep growing together, man. Peace.